Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is called Late Afternoon by the Stream. It's a 12 by 16, and I painted it a few days back. Today is April 4th, 2021, and pretty nice fall day here. We don't get to change the colors here like California, where I'm from originally. I'm speaking to you from Northland, New Zealand right now. A lot of permanently green trees out here, and not like pine needles, but just with leaves that you don't drop off in the fall. Anyway, I did paint this scene before, and I'm thinking it was back in 2017 or 18, and it was a really nice little painting. That was a 7 by 10. It's on the channel. I mean, you could find it. I'm not going to go looking for it, but was a nice painting. I really enjoyed painting it, and sold it in a little gallery here in town, and it was all such a good experience. And so um, it just came together, fell together. Now this one actually came together all right. And now if you go to the live area, if you're a member, if you're not a member, maybe you want to, join the members only exclusive area where you can see the live version of this. It's going to be 3 hours long. Now you go 3 hours long. I ain't got time for that. I was like, well, this is the thing. Maybe you're thinking of it wrong. Maybe you're thinking of it as it's either watch another episode of America's Greatest Hero or watch Mike's 3 hour long live video. No, that's not the way to think about it. The way to think about it is would you, if I was living in your town, would you come to my studio and watch me paint for an entire length of a painting? Obviously you would. And you would spend a dollar more than $5 to do it, I'm sure. You might even spend that in gas. Who knows now with the price of gas going up. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, this painting was interesting because I think it's the first time in a long, long time, like over a year for sure, that I worked on a textured board. And it came out quite good. Um, it's a very, very challenging scene in some regards because you've got this little stream. It's all lots of shadows and things. It's obviously in a shaded area, and there's light. It's in a covered area, and it's an intimate scene. But how the banks of the stream work and things like that, it's not very clear from the photo. There's just big jumbles of detail everywhere, and shadows and colors and things like that. But a lot of times when I have to deal with a scene like that, I just kind of just jump in and then start doing it. Now you can see some things magically appeared there, and what happened is probably I turned off the camera and had some crackers and a cup of tea or something. And sometimes I do little things as I'm sitting there. But you can see what I did. Actually, I can tell you what I did, is I started joining shapes together. And I think that's important. If you have a real patchy thing going with your painting, the best thing to do is start linking up your shadow areas, okay? In fact, link everything up. Link the shadow areas up. Link everything up that you can, and try and make it more cohesive. That's always my advice, especially like this kind of scene. I couldn't even manage it for years. It's very complicated in a sense that there's so much detail and so many things going on. You really have to have kind of a plan, or a plan of attack, more accurately, of how you're going to simplify things, how you're going to approach this sort of scene. And the way I approach it is based on, failing a lot of times. And that may sound like, well, what are we listening to you for? Because you were failing and stuff. It's like, you need to embrace failure if you want to be a decent painter. You have to cover some ground and get those failures under your belt. And it ain't so bad. In fact, here's how you deal with failure. I've talked about this on the channel before, but we're getting new people here all the time. I get like maybe 100 subs a month. They're new. That's been consistent for a while too. I mean, a long while. But how do you deal with this bringing you downness of the failing? How do you deal with it? Ugh, I'll tell you how. I'm going to tell you how. You ready? I'm going to tell you how now. You do a lot of paintings. You try and do. Maybe you can't manage a painting every day. You can if they're small, and I've talked about that extensively. You can cover a lot of ground working small. Working this size, it's a bigger commitment. But I try to do my large ones with the same amount of time. But the point I'm making is, if you have a really big success of a painting, the first thing you want to do is paint again and have another success, because that's how we work. That's how motivation works for human beings, and I imagine all animals. You want to build on your successes, but sometimes what happens is you have a successful painting, or it's maybe successful for wherever you are in your progression as a painter. But then your next painting absolutely is terrible, and you think, wow, I thought I was making progress. I thought I was getting ahead, but this is hard, and it sucks. My recommendation is, just keep moving and be, okay, well, that painting was so-so. Maybe turn it towards the wall and just don't look at it. Don't let it bring you down, and go after another painting. And maybe that one will be mediocre, but don't worry about that one either. Go after another painting. You might find, well, that's better than mediocre. Well, better than mediocre is a lot better than the mediocre one that came before, and the one that absolutely sucked before that. And you see, you get what I'm saying. It's like the success painting is moving many paintings back, and in the back of your mind that, well, yes, I can do successful paintings, but it's not that sting of my last painting was successful. And no, the painting before my last painting was successful. My last painting absolutely was terrible, and I suck as a painter. I don't know why I'm even bothering. You see what I'm saying? This is kind of a psychology thing, but definitely a good tip for you if you want to progress as a painter, because I was reading, and I don't know if we'll get into it today, maybe I was reading from the composition of outdoor painting, his essay, last a few days back when we put up our last video. And he makes a really brilliant, valid point. It's like all the things that you struggle with as a amateur painter starting out, professionals like myself, we struggle with the same things. We just are struggling with it at a higher level because we have a lot more experience. So we failed this way or we failed that way, and we know that doesn't work. It's pretty simple. It might be nice if there was an easier way to learn painting or to get good at painting, but that hasn't been the case for, I want to say a millennia, but let's be conservative and say, since the Renaissance, which is 600 years ago or something, right? 500 years, I don't know. I'm not tracking it in my brain. A while back, not quite a millennium. We all have to struggle. We all have to fail, and failing, you should embrace it, because it didn't work, and now you don't have to fail that way again necessarily. Not to bring you down, but that's not even necessarily true, because you can fail the same way repeatedly. Painting is really hard to do, and I've made this point before in the channel, but I'll make it again here. Isn't it awesome? Think about all the things these days which are so instantaneous and give you instant great results, like, hey, an Instagram filter on your photos, right? Whoa, that looks like art. You show it to your friends. Oh, that looks really cool. Nobody even cares anymore because everyone can do it. You can make it purple and hazy and foggy. You can just keep going through 100 options until you find something really neat looking. You're done. That's just visual stuff, by the way. This applies to um, not so much to writing either, I have to say, but it applies to musical things. It applies to the visual arts. It certainly applies to graphic design. You've got template-driven stuff. It just goes on and on. All the conveniences that technology has brought to play, that we can produce as amateurs, really nice-looking things. click of a button, okay? Which is cool on one hand. On the other hand, how much do you value it if you didn't have to work at it? And what I'm getting to my point, you know me, I'm a little roundabout, but I'll get there. My point is, isn't it awesome that there's something in the modern world that this doesn't apply to? We have to work just as hard to make a great painting as the masters did, as anyone ever has. Granted, there's a few tools digitally that will help aid the process. One of the tools that I utilize is using Photoshop to maybe enhance my reference a bit, maybe give it a color cast, or eliminate distracting objects, or really put an emphasis on a certain area of the painting by making it lighter and other parts darker. It's pretty incredible what I can do to set up my reference. But at the end of the day, I've set up awesome looking reference and made horrible paintings from it because it's still a photo. Maybe I missed something, or maybe I just wasn't able to make a great painting, because making great paintings is difficult, even with all these tools we have at our disposal, you know? And I think that's great. I think it's awesome, because it's the fight, it's the struggle. And I always say the struggle is real, you know? It's something to, first of all, you got to do something. You can't just play video games all day, right? You can't just spectate your way through life. You can, but what you're going to experience from that is just a low level of depression that's nagging at you in the back of your brain. You know, you can sit there and just watch endless television shows and play endless video games and smoke endless bowls of weed or whatever, you know. If you create something, then you've given your life a heck of a lot more meaning, even if nobody cares, right? It doesn't matter. That's a plus. It's a plus when the world comes to you and says, you're really awesome and we love your work. And even better, we really love you. We love your work. Here's some money. You know, go buy some paint. You know, that's a plus. That's really awesome. But it doesn't mean anything compared to the good feeling you have when you know you've done a better painting than you did 2 or 3 years back. And I can tell you, this project I'm working on, I've been going through all this work, and you guys know I'm a worker. I'm working all the time, and what I can tell you is that the end result is I've gotten lots better. If you don't believe me, go check out. I think I've done a playlist of videos from like 2015, 2016, what have you. There's some good paintings in there. I knew what I was doing, but I wasn't functioning at the level I'm functioning at now. My work is so much better. And why is that? It's because I'm working all the time. I'm always working. And that is a great feeling. It's the best feeling in my life, really. You know, having the love and companionship of my family is also a great feeling. You can't even compare the two, because hopefully you've got that anyway. Even if you're sitting there clicking your way through video games, you know, your wife will give you a kiss on the head as she walks by or something like that. But knowing that you went after something and you got better at it and better at it, and you maybe even have a shot at mastery, that's the best feeling. That's the best feeling that you can make happen, I think. You know, I'll say there's one other really great feeling, helping people, and that's one of the reasons I have this channel, one of the reasons I've been putting videos out, and, you know, trying to promote tonalism in what I do. But, you know, I like helping other people get to that great feeling and help. That's a really big improvement in your life. If you're creating something and you think it's cool, you think it's beautiful, not only that, you know it's better than what you were doing 2 or 3 years before, or 10 years before, or whatever. Anyway, we diatribed through this whole video, and thank you for sticking with me this far, and thank you for watching the video. Check out the members area. You get like blow-by-blow tips as I'm painting there. And check out my website. The store is going to get retooled soon. I got to do something. I don't know what. Anyway, until I come back with another video, please do me a favor. Take good care of yourself, your family, and your loved ones, and stay out of trouble.